The old house stood silent, a comforting, familiar silence. Stars dusted the black sky. A gentle breeze whispered through the tall pines. I sat by the window. A book lay open in my lap, unread. Peace settled upon me like a warm blanket. The day's worries had faded. Life felt simple, predictable. The world outside was quiet. Too quiet, perhaps. But I welcomed the stillness. It was a balm to a tired mind. Then a faint hum began. So low I almost missed it. The lights in the room gave a sudden, sharp flicker. I blamed old wiring. The radio, silent for an hour, crackled with static. A dog barked in the distance, a short, sharp sound, then a yelp. Silence returned. But it was different now, heavier. The gentle breeze died. A sudden chill crept into the room. An unknown dread began to coil in my stomach. Something was deeply wrong. A light, blinding. It erupted outside the window. It was not moonlight, nor any earthly light. It pulsed with a sickening rhythm. A deep thrum vibrated through the floorboards. It resonated in my bones. Fear, cold and absolute, pierced my calm. I was frozen, unable to move, unable to scream. The sturdy oak door of my home splintered. It burst inwards. Shadows filled the doorway, tall, impossibly thin, unspeakably alien. They glided. They made no sound on the wooden floor. Cold air like that from a tomb rushed in with them. A force, unseen yet undeniable, pulled at me. It was not the touch of hands. It was something else. Something that bypassed flesh and grasped the very spirit. I was lifted from my chair, helpless. I kicked, I thrashed. A scream finally tore from my throat, but it was swallowed by the oppressive silence they brought. Towards the pulsing, terrible light I was drawn. The familiar world vanished. Cold. Everything was cold. The surfaces were metallic. They curved in ways that hurt the eyes. There were no true corners, or perhaps there were too many, angles that should not exist. The air itself thrummed, a low, pervasive hum. It vibrated deep within my chest. It smelled of burnt ozone. And something else, something ancient, something utterly rotten. The light was dim, a sickly green. It cast long dancing shadows that writhed like living things. The creatures, they were tall, impossibly slender. Their limbs bent at angles that defied nature. Their skin was like wet, dark leather. It seemed to shimmer, to change colours in the foul light. They had no discernible faces, only a single large pulsing eye. It glowed with a deep malevolent red. That eye saw everything. It pierced through me. They moved with a dreadful silent grace. Their very presence was a crushing weight upon my soul, a presence that screamed of madness. Terror. Pure, undiluted terror. It was a living thing inside me. My heart hammered against my ribs. A scream was trapped in my dry throat. My mind reeled. This was not happening. It could not be real. But the cold floor beneath my bare feet was real. The sight of these beings was real. The horrifying understanding crashed down upon me. Abducted, taken, doomed, lost to everything I knew, consigned to some awful, unknown fate. I was dragged through endless winding corridors. Each one looked the same, cold, metallic, silent save for that maddening hum. We passed doors, sealed, ominous. What unknown horrors lay behind them, I did not want to know. The thought alone brought fresh waves of nausea. I was a specimen, a curiosity, a bug in some cosmic collector's jar, insignificant, utterly alone. The journey through the vessel felt like an eternity. Each passing moment was an agony of dread and anticipation. We entered a vast chamber. It was colder here, colder than any earthly winter. In the centre stood a single table, fashioned from polished black metal. It gleamed under the eerie green light. Instruments lay neatly arranged nearby, on a tray of the same dark metal. They gleamed too, sharp, unfamiliar, terrifying in their alien design. This was no place of healing. This was a place of unmaking, a place of ultimate violation. My last vestiges of hope withered and died. I was lifted, roughly, placed upon the cold, hard table. The metal seared my skin. Restraints, cold and unyielding, snapped into place around my wrists, my ankles, my neck. Panic surged anew. A desperate, futile struggle began. I thrashed against the bonds. It was useless. The creatures watched. Their single crimson eyes pulsed slowly, unblinking, cold, calculating. There was no malice in their gaze, no anger, only a detached, chilling purpose. That was the most terrifying part. A sharp sting on my arm. A cold liquid coursed through my veins. Numbness began to spread, but it was incomplete. A cruel mercy. I could still feel far too much. One of the creatures approached. It held a long, thin tool, like a polished silver needle, but barbed. It lowered the instrument, slowly, deliberately, towards my exposed chest. The first incision, a line of pure, unadulterated fire, an agony beyond words. A silent scream echoed in my mind. The smell, acrid, antiseptic, and the coppery scent of my own blood. It filled my nostrils, sounds, the whirring of unknown devices, the precise clicking of alien tools, wet, tearing sounds that would haunt my dreams forever if I survived to dream. I could see them work, detached, efficient, clinical. I saw my own flesh parted, my own bone exposed to the green light. The pain was a universe, expanding, consuming all thought. Consciousness flickered, danced at the edge of oblivion, but it never faded completely. They would not allow it. They delved deeper into my ravaged form. Each touch was an eternity of exquisite, unbearable pain. I could feel my organs being shifted, gently probed, then sliced with chilling precision. I was kept alive, conscious, by some unknown infernal science, to witness my own dismantling, to feel every violation, every cut, every moment of this grim, methodical harvest. This was not mere scientific study, this was a defilement of the soul, a ritual of utter horror. My mind fractured under the strain, sanity frayed like an old rope. I was reduced to a thing, a collection of biological parts for these silent, single-eyed horrors to explore, to catalogue, to utilize. The essence of who I was, myself, my soul screamed silently. Trapped within this ruined, agonized body, hopelessness was a cold, black ocean. I was drowning in its depths. There was no escape, only this endless, meticulous torment, this living death. One of the creatures paused its work. Its single, terrible eye pulsed faster, brighter. It held up a piece of me, something glistening, taken from deep within my chest. It examined the quivering morsel with an intense, unreadable focus. Then it made a sound, a low, guttural chitter, a series of clicks and pops. It was almost like satisfaction. Or was it a prelude to something worse? The thought sent a new, icy spike of horror through what remained of me. The pain suddenly lessened. It did not vanish, but it changed, became distant. A strange, unnerving warmth began to spread through my ravaged chest. I forced my gaze downwards. I saw them implanting something, a small, dark object. It pulsed with a faint internal light. It burrowed into my flesh, settling near my heart. Then a voice, not a sound that entered my ears, but a thought planted directly into my mind. Clear, cold, alien. You will serve, you will see. My eyes snapped open. What would I see? What new nightmare was this?